This is the first audio, okay? This is the first video. Let's listen to it.
Take economics. Money and sex. Those two variables play too big of a role in our relationships. Sex is important, money is important, but they should not be the be all and end all of whether or not the relationship is going to make sense. And if money and sex are dominating the relationship is being ran on a superficial structure because money runs out. How you perform in bed, that will dim over time too. So we cannot be coming together for money and sex, because if that's the case, this really isn't a relationship. It's a pleasure contract. And a lot of us in the community have pleasure contracts we call relationships. And the difference between a pleasure contract and a relationship is a relationship requires obligation and accountability. See, when you have a pleasure contract, I sex my queen when I sex her. We go to the movies when we want to go to the movies. We go to the Bahamas when we want to go to the Bahamas. We go to the festival when we want to go to. It's all pleasure based. I see you when you want to see me. You see me when you want to see me. Relationship, I'm accountable to you whether we having fun or not. Relationship, your long-term best interest as a human being is part of my responsibility. A lot of people are calling pleasure contracts and situationships, which is when neither one of you really know what the hell this is. We're calling them relationships and they're not. So number one, we got to be honest about what the particular structure is. Is this situationship? We just trying to figure it out. Is this a pleasure contract? We just having fun in and out of the bed when we feel like it? Or is this a relationship where you're going to be accountable to me even when you are angry and upset and don't want to be bothered? What exactly is this? Because there's a big difference. And unfortunately, because we don't communicate with the women in our lives as men, once they open their legs, they tend to assume that there's some sort of a relationship here. No matter how minuscule, we never clarify that. And the reason we never clarified that is in our selfishness as men, we like to have our cake and eat it too. So we know she's developing a bond. You understand? But we're never going to clarify the bond because I want to be able to dip out the back door the minute she puts too much responsibility on me. Where had if you told her up front, this is just a pleasure contract, an arrangement, she could have probably done a better job of keeping her feelings to herself. But because we don't want to see her with nobody else, we would rather run the risk of hurting her spiritually and emotionally than let her go free to find what she really needs.
We gonna have Miss Sabina break that down before we listen to the second audio and discuss that. So, Miss Sabina, welcome, love. I hope everything is well with you. Happy New Year to you. What are your thoughts on what you just heard? What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? Talk to the people.
Happy New Year. That was a lot. I pretty much agree with everything he said. I've always said that I don't agree with friends with benefit situations, um, because, women tend to catch feelings at a higher rate than men, um, because they go into these situations feeling like, yeah, well, I'm a friends with benefits right now, but if I show him I'm girlfriend material, if I show him I'm wife material, I can, sort of get him to change his mind as time goes on. And then they, for some reason, are shocked when 20, 30 months down the line, you're still a friends with benefits, and he'll stop messing with you and go actually get in a relationship with a woman, another woman. Is because that's the level that he wanted this relationship at. And because he took you on dates, or he bought you nice meals, or he bought you gifts, somewhere in your mind you thought that this was your man, but he already had an established contract with you. And this is why I tell women, like, if you're going to be with someone, you need to honestly know what the terms are and be legitimate. And going after pleasurable things like, sex and money are two quickest ways to have a hollowed relationship. What, at the end of the day, are you want to have someone that you can truly lean on. And if those are the only two things that you entered into the relationship for, you have nobody to lean on. No one's gonna, there's no substance in that relationship. So everything he said is true. And those are exactly the reasons why there are more single mother households, because women enter these relationships under one basis but feel like they can manipulate it into being something else. And when they're unsuccessful, then they're angry at the man. Like he pulled the okey doke, like he played with your feelings. How? It's the same thing like if you sign a contract and this is what they wrote and then they come and enforce the guidelines. They didn't trick you. You tricked yourself because you didn't read your contract. And it goes the same thing as like being in a relationship with a man. If you allow a man to let you enter into a relationship that is based on pleasure and only pleasure, there's no real context to it, that's all you're going to ever have. And what Thanos said earlier is real true. And I feel bad for my sisters when they get into these relationships with men, and they truly they underestimate what they what they really want in a relationship. A lot. I said this before. I think my video is still on your page. Women be claiming they want a good man and have never seen one in their life, and yet you have these criteria on what you think a good man is, and most of the stuff that they feel like is criteria is just what makes him a man. Doesn't make him a good man. I know cheaters that pay bills. I'm gonna just be honest. If that's what you're looking for, shoot, then cheaters pay bills. I know abusers that pay bills. So when you're laying out what you want in a man, take away from the material things or the pleasurable things, and you need to start labeling things that makes him truly a depiction of a man. You need someone who knows how to contain his emotions. I never hear no woman say that. A man that knows how to control his emotions, because then that leads to more toward a good man than a bad one. Because the ones who can't control their emotions go upside your head. You don't want that. I want a man that can control his emotions. I want a man that's a leader. But then also, if you want a leader, ladies, that means you got to do that S word that everybody's afraid of. You
Mm.
got to calm down and you got to let him lead.
So, Miss Sabina, I agree with everything you said. The one thing that I disagree with Dr. Umar, and I want to hear your take on this, essentially towards the end of that video that I just played, he was essentially saying that men be leading women on. Like men, when a woman opens up their legs for the man, he knows that she's catching feelings, but he's not, being direct with her and letting her know that it's not like what she thinks it is or what she may possibly want it to be or eventually become. I disagree with that. We talk, our women, I'm gonna say our women talk about emotional intelligence all the time. They talk about communication. And again, I hate using this phrase, but for people that are quote unquote dating with intention, if a woman is dating with intention, she's going to make, her intentions clear to the man. What she ultimately desires of the relationship. She's going to make it clear that I'm not just looking for a fling, I'm looking for a serious relationship. I have plans to, be engaged in X amount of time. I eventually want to be married by X time. So you're going to make, your intentions clear to the man. And based on his actions, you should be able to discern, whether or not he's, in line with you or if he's playing games. But I don't actually believe. I think people lead themselves on more than anything. I think people are willingly delusional. I think women get digmatized. I think men get pussy whipped. I don't think there's a lot of people actually being led on. So what do you think about that?
Shut up. I agree. I don't. I always have a saying. I don't believe anybody's a victim unless you're super old or you super young. So that means infants, babies, those are victims, and the elderly that can't really take care of themselves. Those people can be victimized. Anyone in between, you are a product of your situation. You made the choices to be where you are. So when you enter into a relationship with someone, and that's the thing, like that N word that goes around. I hate to say it, narcissism. Everybody's a narcissist nowadays, but no, but you knew that this man was a liar. With like I listen to a lot of these lies where women describe like, yeah, he lied when we was dating, and I forgave him, and then he lied, and then 3 years later he lied. He had a whole wife and kids. Like if he lied when y'all was dating at like the first few months, why would you think he would ever continue to tell you the truth? Like these, it's straight delusion. The fact that you're with this person and they're showing you that they, first of all, if you're dating with intention and you're with a man and you have this mindset, I want to be engaged by this time, I want to buy a house by this time, and you don't see this man even moving toward those goals with you, why are you still with him? But see, women want to hide behind that mindset of I love him so much and this, that, and the other, and they also want to be I, the word masculine gets talked around, but I really feel like a lot of women are fake masculine because you're masculine in aspects where you want to act all tough to hide your true feelings, but then you're not masculine where you need to be. Because honestly, if you want to dip into your masculinity, let it be when you're in a relationship with a no good dude and be like, you know what, this ain't gonna work, I'm out, and cut them feelings off for real. But y'all want to cut y'all feelings off when y'all out here doing your little hoe passes and all that other stuff. Cut your feelings off when you with a dude that no ain't you ain't gonna take you nowhere. But you'll spend 7, 8, 9, 10 years with a dude playing the emotion card, and I just love him so much. I love little Pookie so much. I don't want to let him go. And then now he done broke your heart, and now you want to treat the next dude with all of this masculine energy and be the Terminator. And where was that energy for him? You need to, that I don't understand that mindset on how anybody can be manipulated by anybody. Nobody has ever manipulated me. I've made some stupid decisions and I've allowed people to make stupid decisions with me. Those are all my responsibility. I'm not blaming nobody for nothing.
And then
Could I say?
yeah, one
Uh,
second, Thanos. I want her to address one more thing. So I don't know if y'all can see it, but I asked, do most black men and women, especially in their 20s, really desire relationships? And then I asked, are pleasure contracts and situationships preferred? So I'm gonna say something. Then Miss Sabina, I want you to speak on this, and then Thanos, you can say whatever you want to say. So Miss Sabina, I, from what I've seen and from what I've experienced, and to be honest, even myself, I honestly don't think a lot of people, especially in their 20s, really desire relationships. Um, especially like the woman, when they're looking the way they're looking, and every single day, when they wake up, it's men from all over the country, men from all over the world that don't know them from a can of paint, in their inbox, telling them how beautiful they are, telling them that they want to give them the world, telling them that they're the greatest thing walking the earth. Essentially, what I'm trying to say is a lot of these women and men, but I'm talking about the women right now, they be thinking that they have a lot of options. And being that I have all these options right now, I don't want to settle down. I want to like utilize all these options and make the best of, this situation that I have going on. And for the men, the young men that are, they got a career, they making money, they got their own crib, they got their own car, they don't have any kids. They can get up and travel when they want to. They can be here, there, and yonder, in the snap of a finger, and they got motion with girls. I can tell you, especially like young men, a lot of young men don't be really wanting to settle down. They don't be thinking about, settling down with one woman, working to marriage with her and starting a family. I think a lot of men and women do want to deal with people when they want to deal with them, when it's convenient for them to deal with them, both men and women on a case by case like situation basis. So me personally, I think what he's referring to as pleasure contracts and situationships, I think it's cool until, like you said, people's feelings get involved. At the start of it, everything is good, but when your feelings start getting involved, now it's a problem. So what do you have to say about that?
So I do agree that most men aren't really trying to, not young men are not trying to settle down. And see, women on this platform a lot scream like, why aren't men held accountable for wanting to, have their fun, and why is it a time clock put on us women? Well, because the Lord gave us a time clock internally.
Right.
He didn't give that to a man, and that's what women want to push out. And then their famous rebuttal is, well, how do you know we want kids? But see, the problem is that most of the time, by the time y'all realize y'all want kids, you can't have them. Like, why would you want to wait till something is taken away to make the decision? Why you want to spend 10, 20 years out here having hot girl summers and throwing it in a circle on random dudes until you finally realize what you really want? When you know when you were born that the Lord gave you a time clock. He didn't give men a time clock. So this is the thing. Me and my husband, we're 4 years apart. I haven't dated a man my age in like years. Once me and my ex broke up, I only dated men older than me because I realized that at that time, me and my ex were the same age when we got together. So the fact that we had so many issues as a young couple was because I was older and more mature than he was. So after we broke up, I never dated no one close to my age. I started getting with men older and more mature who wanted what I wanted. I wanted to be married. I wanted to settle down and I wanted more children. So I only dated men who wanted those things. Women spend so much time trying to chase after people that are like-minded and don't understand that in a way that's you saying that you're not ready for that either. But the problem is that the joke's on you when you wait too long. The joke's not on him. Because when you wait too long and you're all shriveled up and he can't do nothing with you, he can go get somebody younger. The likelihood that you can and still have the same adequate life as he can is not the same. We women need to just finally be honest and just admit it, swallow that hard pill. Men and women aren't the same.
Mm.
So when you're looking at a young man in his 20s who don't want to settle down, don't look at him. Go to the people that's your age range. Since the dawn of time, though, if you go back in history, men went off to war for 10, 20 years and came back in their 30s and dated 18-year-old women and got married and had babies. There's a reason why that happened, because those 30-year-old men who went off to war had lived their life and they was ready to settle down and take a nap and have some babies, and that was it. They wasn't trying to chase women. They had already done that. That is reason. There's a reason for that. So if you're 20, 21 years old and you're dating, stop thinking that 20 and 21-year-old you're dating is going to settle down and be with you forever. No, if you're at that point in your life where you're like, hey, I want something serious, I'm hoping to get engaged, I'm hoping to get married, then date someone in an age range that's looking for that too. That 20-year-old ain't looking for that. And I tell my daughter this. She's about to be 13. I told her this. She had we had the sex talk, and I told her I would rather you wait for marriage, because one lie that men told me, that they told every other woman around me, is that I'm gonna marry you eventually. So what does it matter? Oh, it's waiting for marriage. If he's not ready to marry you now, which most young men aren't, then then it ain't worth it, because what you have is priceless. It can't be replaced. Men can have babies from the age of 13 to death. You don't have that leeway. So you need to be a lot more particular. That he can go out here and do what he want to do. You can't. And there's nothing wrong with that. I feel like it makes me special. Women, I don't know why women think that's a burden. That should make you special. You know, that should make you feel good to know that everybody's dying for something that you have that makes you an individual. You know, the more you hold on to it, the more people are going to work their way to getting it the right way, or they're going to give up because they know they're not adequate to get it. But you sinking down in their level to give them what they want just to appease them only hurts you. It don't hurt them.
No, 100%. I mean, I've said this before, Miss Sabina. You know, a lot of women my age, um, and I always tell them I find it interesting because, like, you know, as boys, you see, like, when you get to middle school, like, even like as early as sixth grade, when the girls that's, you know, dating or whatever, they dating the seventh grader, they dating the eighth grader. You get to high school, you know, this freshmen that be dating seniors, they dating the sophomores and the juniors. You get to college, and as you start getting out of high school, they dating men that's in college. You get to college, they dating men that's out of college. You know, whether they have a career, whether they have a job, it's just an older man that, you know, he may have his own place. He has money and access to, even if he doesn't have a lot of resources, he has access to some resources men your age don't have. But all of a sudden, Miss Sabina, when these girls get out of school or when they start getting to like their mid 20s, for some reason, a lot of them, I don't know what it is, they don't be wanting to like date older anymore. Like you said, I tell them, if you're looking for a man to provide you X lifestyle at our age in your early mid 20s, you need to date older men. But I don't know if they don't be finding the older men attractive, or being that, this man is older and like you said, he's probably done his running around now and he's not trying to be outside. He's not trying to catch a weekend trip to Vegas, a weekend trip to Miami. He's not trying to go to the club and be in a section. I just think they may see a lot of these guys as like boring or something. I'm not a woman. I can't really speak to it, but it's like if you want a man to be providing you a certain lifestyle right now, you need to date older men.
I don't think it's that they find them boring or unattractive. It's more so, me and my husband talked about this the other day. We live in an age where women want to blame men at every facet of life for no reason at all. If they get divorced, it's the man's fault. If they, have to be a single mother, it's the man's fault. If they are old and dusty when they finally get married, it's all the men that they ever dated fault. Because women don't look at the fact that that older man that would have given you the life you wanted, he didn't want you out having girls trips. He don't want you on Vegas trips. He don't want you out here throwing it in a circle in the club. He wants you at home with him, cuddling and watching TV and hanging out. That's what he wants. And you, in your mindset, feel like, no, I need to be out here doing what all my single friends are doing, because women love to keep up with other women. This is the thing that doesn't make sense to me, though. Those people aren't the ones that are going to be with you when you old and decrepit and need someone to take care of you. Why keep up with people that are not going to be, lifelong friends? They sound all, cool and all, but how often those things really happen? A mate is different. He is a lifelong partner. He is someone that's going to be there for you. He's going to be there when you're sick and you're old and you need someone to lean on and feed you applesauce. Your friends aren't. But women spend so much time trying to keep up with their friends and the other women and chase them around the world and let's go on girls trips. And you ain't got to listen to your man. And you don't understand that woman's keeping you single, so she has somebody to hang out with because she know nobody want her. She ain't gonna never have nobody to settle down with. So she's hoping if she ruins your future, that you'll be stuck with her. And that's the worst mindset to listen. I don't have no friends. I got 2 kids and a husband. That's it. My life is booked with that. If y'all even looked at I have 5 calendars between appointments, athletic activities, school, doctor's visits, work. I'm booked, sweetheart. We can't go nowhere. What you mean? Family vacation? I can't go nowhere with you because that would take away from one of the important people in my life. If I take away from my husband, I'm gonna be single like you, and I don't want that. If I take away from my kids, I'll be a bad mother, and I don't want that either. Those aren't the mindset that most of these young women have. They want to go out here and have a good time. We'll go have a
Mhm.
good time. Just know your time is limited. These men, their time is forever. Bob Hope, not Bob Hope. What's that man's name? Babe, what's that man? Hugh Hefner had a baby at 70.
Yeah.
And it wasn't an anomaly. Nobody was shocked. I mean, well, sort of, because he was kind of old. But when you really think about it, men having babies at 70 isn't a shocker. Like everybody was like, okay, that's common. Women having babies at 70 makes it to CNN because they're like, dang, lady, you still, how you end up with this baby? She gets
Right.
talk shows. She on Oprah because people want to know, how did this happen? But Hugh Hefner, it was just news. They was like, hey, Hugh Hefner had a baby. On to the next thing, because it's not shocking. So you living your life chasing other women and trying to be their friend and travel the world and do all that. Just remember, your time is limited, and nobody's gonna cry them two tears in a bucket when you 99 years old and that little friend of yours is either abandoning you or trying to help you. Y'all both too old to take care of each other, and y'all in a home together because neither one of y'all got no man.
Mm. Mm-mm-mm. All right, we about to play the second audio and hear what Miss Sabina has to say about this. Here we go.
To it. Look at your situation. We are in a state of crisis. So black women and black men got to understand decisions you would have normally made another way. You have to look at them differently now because of your options. I'm going to give you another mistake black women make. So one is postponing marriage and childbirth to after college. Two, demanding that your husband be of the same religious persuasion. And you know what the third one is? What's that? Wanting black men to come to the relationship table having already achieved success. One of the biggest advantages the snow bunnies have on our women is snow bunnies will find a dusty brother and see his skill, his talent, you feel me?
Yeah.
Invest in him in college. And by the time he become a multimillionaire at 35, she been with him the whole walk. You see that? A lot of sisters are not going to do that. They're not going to find a dusty brother in his senior year or dusty brother in the community. But you see, he got this business idea. She like, nah, come back and see me when it's up and running. I don't think this ever going to happen. Soon when you waved him off, the snow bunny got him. The snow bunny invested in him. You feel me? 10 years later, the same brother see you, you trying to holler. He got the white girl. Now you dissing him. You saying they all want white girls. Nah, he came to you. You said you want a ready-made black man. You don't want a work in progress. And I'm telling black women, y'all better start going for some of these works in progress instead of waiting for us to finish the job, because you losing to the snow bunny when you tell us to wait until we got the bag. Into it.
Whew. What's your thoughts, Miss Sabina?
So a lot of people hate the podcast Fresh and Fit. I don't like or dislike it. I really enjoy listening to their point of views. But one thing that they talk about a lot on that podcast is about how if you want an affluent man with money, then you have to play at his terms. And in a way, that's kind of true. You know, the person that holds the bag kind of controls how things work. So women out here chasing men that are already put together can kind of be a downfall because he holds the purse strings. He holds how things are going to operate. So if you don't want to get with his program, then you should have found someone that you could build with. Um, I don't listen. I know some people who everybody I know that's still married, they got together when neither one of them had nothing. Most people that I know who got together when someone had something and the other one didn't, that didn't make it. It didn't work out. Mainly because if it's the man who has everything and the woman doesn't, when she gets to that level, she doesn't really know how to now she feels like she got to throw her weight around, like, now I got my own money, I ain't got to listen to you. And it causes a division, you know. When y'all build together, then there is no division when it comes to money, because it's our money that we worked hard for. No one feels like they have to throw their weight around or stomp in place or do anything like that, because they know we made this together. um and I don't understand why people feel like that there's something wrong with that. We've had this talk before,
Right.
Noble. I make, how I make a lot.
Right.
Everybody I date, nobody comes close. And I listen, I don't be mad. It don't change how I deal with them. I don't hold it over their head. Most of the time, they don't even know. Like,
Right.
my husband didn't know till after we got married. He was like, "Dang, that's how much you make." I mean, because it doesn't change anything. At the end of the day, it's just money. And money comes and it goes. What does it matter? Like, I mean, what does it? I don't get that. I don't get it. I don't understand what the need is to have a man who's already put together. And then, because most of the time, the women that want that don't have enough to put themselves together themselves. I mean, some
Right.
do. Don't get me wrong, some do, but the majority of them that is looking for that, they don't have everything. Why would you want somebody that can, you know, I wouldn't say control, but why would you want somebody all the way put together and you're not put together?
Right.
And then also, if you're not put together and he falls off, how you gonna catch him? If y'all living in a mansion that's $20,000 a month and you work at McDonald's making, there ain't no way you catching him, boo. Ain't no way. If he loses his job tomorrow, y'all homeless. And then what? I don't get it. Like, what's the mindset of that? Why not build together? And it be yours. And building together brings y'all together in a different way than trying to get everything separately. It brings you closer. It creates memories. It creates loyalty and allegiance. And before women start talking about, oh, well, so and so had money and they built together and look at how they ended. Not
Right.
everybody's ending. Just because people end it doesn't mean what you think it means. Sometimes relationships end,
Right.
you know? But that doesn't mean that if you build with a man who has less than you do, or doesn't isn't where he wants to be in life, that that means he's going to get big and just forget about you. That's not what that means. It means that he more likely will think you're loyal. He'll more likely think like, okay, this is somebody, and he'll want to be more loyal to you because you went that path with him.
Right.
I don't know. I never get it. I don't get it.
I'm not a woman, and I wish there were other, black women that, because look, Miss Sabina, you hear it on this app, and even women that I, talk to off of this app, on this app and off this app, they tell me, what they say, look, we've seen everything that our mothers and our aunties and our grandmothers went to, and we're not going to subject ourselves to the same things that they went through. And another thing they say is, there's times when that woman that was there with that man when he was at the bottom, when he wasn't this accomplished, successful, established man yet, when he got to whatever level, he started to cheat on the woman. He left that woman for a younger woman, a better looking woman. Essentially, what they be saying is that man leaves that woman that, quote unquote, built the empire with him, and she doesn't get to, like, reap the fruits of, she doesn't get to reap the fruits of that labor. But what be blowing me, Miss Sabina, is they'll say what be blowing me, and this is what I tell. I find it very interesting that um they'll say that they won't build with a man that, is on a uh higher socioeconomic level than them, more accomplished than them, more established than them, more successful than them. I be telling them, like, y'all be the project most of the time. Like, imagine if a lot of brothers was having the same mentality as a lot of these women. Like, y'all be the project most of the time. And I can
Noble.
understand, Miss Sabina, I can understand, like, women in your age demographic and older. Like, I can understand a woman like yourself saying, like, you know what? I have certain standards, and if a man doesn't meet these standards, then it's probably not going to work. I can understand a woman of your age demographic and a woman of your success level saying that. But, like, these women be trying to make it seem like they all Miss Sabina, like somebody's gonna be walking into an amazing situation with them, and that's just not the case.
Noble. The I'm fourth generation. And as a fourth generation woman in my family, I'm the only one that knows how to keep a man. The last thing I was worried about was chasing a man that make a lot of money. I was just worried about breaking the generational curse that everybody in my family got divorced and died all alone. My great great grandmother died alone. My grandmother died alone last year, and my mama, she working on it too. I was like, oh no, ma'am, I will not be in my 60s working two jobs to pay the bills by myself. No
Mhm.
way. So I don't have time to be trying to chase no man with no big bag. I'm just trying to chase a man that's gonna be here when I'm old and gray, and I need somebody to go get my teeth out the glass and stuff, so I don't have to do all that stuff by myself. Like, those were my priorities, and a lot of women don't have that realistic overview of their life and of their family life. They don't stop to look at, realistically, look at my grandmother who was single and raised all these kids, and my mama who was single and raised all these kids, and I don't want to be like them. So maybe I should just work on dating a man that treats me right, that loves me, that motivates me, and I can motivate him, that's loyal to me, that's honest with me, that cares for me and wants to do nice things for me. And honestly, I feel like if you pour enough into a man like that, you can get to that level without having to cut corners and go straight to it. Because a man that's already built everything for him, what loyalty does he really have towards you?
Right.
What is he, and a lot of men feel like when they get to that stature that their money works for them to the point where you are a dime a dozen. I would
Right.
never want to be a dime a dozen in a man's mindset. I want to feel like how I feel with my husband, where nobody in this world is going to ever be better than me. That's how my husband looks at me, and that's how he treats me. Now, he could be capping. I hope he ain't. But he treats me like nobody in this world is better than me. and that I'm the only one. So why would you want to put yourself in a position where this man is like, just like I got you, I can get 10 other just like you, or maybe better,
Right.
and that's the predicament you put yourself in when you going out here and chasing these $1 million men. They, you're not special. You're not. Everybody's chasing them men. Put yourself in a position where you're special. You want a man to be honest with you. That man ain't gonna be honest with you. He already got a line running because he done ran
Right.
that line on 10 people before you.
But this the thing, Miss Sabina. It's it's like when the company was in formation, and they were looking for people to invest in the company. You weren't interested in investing in the company, but now when the company is successful and it's this $1 billion company, now you want equity in the company. That's not how it works. You're not about to go to Apple. You're not about to go to Google. You're not about to go to Microsoft and tell them to make you a shareholder. It don't work like that.
It's crazy. Like kind of off subject, but not off subject. These are women who don't even like to ask for raises at their job, chasing $1 million men, because that's where that whole wage gap myth came from. Oh, we make less than men, but you make less than. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. These are women who made that whole myth that there was a wage gap, that men made less than them and this, I mean, made more than them, and this, that, and the other. When it really came down to, women don't even ask for raises. You can't ask for your job for a raise, but you want to chase $1 million man. How that makes sense? You rather quit and go work somewhere else. But see, if a man has that mindset when it comes to women, you don't want to act right, bam, quit you, and I'll go get somebody else. He a bad guy. He was a misogynist and narcissistic. Nah, you do the same thing when it comes to your job. You quit, even if they treat you right and everything. You'll quit and go find you another job if they won't pay you right, but you never ask for a raise. But you chasing a man that make $1 million. Where none of these, like the guy in the comment just said, you need to talk to other women. No, they hard headed, because nothing that most women that I meet makes sense. I have not met a woman that made sense except for Kanai in a long time. Most women don't make sense, and I don't have time to have no headache. I got things to do. And these things don't make sense. You're chasing $1 million man, but you won't ask for a raise at your job. That's crazy. That's crazy. You know, you chasing $1 million man, and you're coming to him with nothing. You expect that your coochie, which every woman on the planet has, is supposed to be so magical. It's supposed to keep them. You don't have no real conversation. You don't really like it. So many things that just doesn't make sense with this mindset that's perpetuated nowadays, and nobody's trying to figure that part out.
Good Lord. I already know how that part's gonna make them feel. I want to play this for you as well, Mr. Vina. I want to hear what you have to say about this.
Beautiful black woman syndrome. It's almost a curse, okay?
Agreed.
Exactly. Here's what I'm saying. Number one, y'all date earlier when you look good. Statistics show it. When a black woman is attractive, she's sexualized earlier. She loses her virginity earlier. When you have a beautiful daughter, you got to be on her ass, because the hounds will be. But here's the point that I want to make. Because they're so beautiful, Joe, guess what? When the brothers in college was trying to holler with that wedding ring, oh no, I look too good for that. Ain't no marriage coming in my 20s.
My options.
Thank you.
I'm
Then
looking
the
for a
30s came.
better
The 30s came. Brothers came with the ring. No, I'm still enjoying this.
You ain't slowing me
Then
down.
she gets 43, 44, 45.
Now I'll take the vote.
Now she ready to settle down.
I'll take the post office worker.
Right.
I'll take the
but
post
stay
office
with
worker
me.
now.
And because black men are not dropping at her feet with proposals like they were in her 20s and in her 30s, now she's on YouTube talking about black men ain't shit. They not serious. They don't want to build a family. Time out. You done had about 30 black men who came for your finger in marriage, and you turned them all down because you thought you was too fucking cute to settle down. And now you in your mid-40s, brothers ain't breaking their neck to wedge you out, and now the men ain't shit.
Hold up. No, listen.
Wait, Mal, is that you?
Stay here.
Mal, is that you?
Stay here.
Not necessarily.
No, that's her. It's no saver.
I'm piling on.
Mel,
No,
You don't look
no,
the
you
same.
didn't. No,
Okay, she
no,
said it's
no,
not
no,
her.
no.
You don't look the same.
Right.
right?
Well, not necessarily. No, they still look good.
No, they still look
If
good.
you don't put your fucking
Look,
computer
they
away.
still may look good. You don't look the same. And not just that, that black man now has ascended to the point where he's single and he got the 30-year-olds and the 28-year-olds still checking for him. He 40 now, he got the pick of the litter.
That's true.
He got the pick of the litter now.
But the other thing too,
You're not the commodity no more.
When you're a black man in your 40s and you meet a fine ass sister in her 40s, it don't mean nothing wrong with it.
Nope.
But you have to entertain the idea. How did a woman this fine
slip through the cracks? She damaged. She got a bunch of shit coming to the table with it.
So you automatically a little on defense because you like shit. She bad as shit. Never been married or no kids. Never lived with a man. Like, are you psycho?
What's wrong with you?
Are you married but not telling me?
Why you not giving them a pound?
Yeah.
You told me to sit down. Shut up.
Stand up, sister. Come on.
Yeah, please, queen. Dap him up now, queen. Reading your ass. Leave my sister alone. Leave my sister alone. Leave my sister alone. Not too much on Mel. I want to hear her rebuttal.
There is no rebuttal. I agree with you.
What's your thoughts on that, Miss Sabina?
I mean, everything he said was the truth. But I said that earlier, women, we have a time clock and we want to act like, it's not there. And, I even saw people in the comments here saying that, like, well, what makes you think we want to have children? Okay, well, listen, I'm not saying you want to have them or not, but why wait till you 40 to try when you know that after you hit 30, it gets harder. So why wait till you're 40? When you thought miraculously science was going to change just for you? Like, these are the mindsets of people nowadays, and that's what they're really perpetuating. That I got all the time in the world and you don't. And no one's doing this to you. The Lord made it that way when he made you. He made it that way. We didn't set this okey doke up for you. He made it that way when he created you. He made it where you had a time frame. So while you're out here chasing and looking good, listen, I feel like the Lord made you look good for a reason. Yes, so you can find the mate. So when the mate finds you, listen, I got married in less than 90 days. I got proposed to and married in less than 90 days. He ain't have to think twice. He wasn't looking for nothing else. He said he found what he wanted and that was it. He'd been looking and he'd been looking 37 years. He'd been looking and he found me. And in less than 90 days, he already knew. He said, the Lord told him, that's your wife. And he was like, well, shoot, I don't ask no questions. It doesn't take forever. These 3, 4, 5, 10-year relationships that end in nothing, it don't take forever. It was never meant to take forever. But nowadays, being beautiful and girls trips and all this going in the club and having a whole bunch of men, what they call the lineup, all of that is what's popping nowadays. And then when y'all alone and decrepit, then you want to be mad at it. It's men, like he said, it's true. Then when they get over 40, they want to get on the internet. Oh, they be bad on TikTok and these lives.
I was gonna say we see it on here.
Man, I was in a live the other day where a woman was like, "This ain't a safe space for men." With her deep voice, she sound like the mom from the Clumps. This ain't a safe space for men. Every man I ever been with has been a terrible person. And I asked her in the comments, like, lady, how old are you? I'm 48. You 48 and you ain't never met a good man? Maybe the common denominator might be you, ma'am. 48? That's a long
Oh my
that's a lot of
gosh.
years. That's a lot of years. Even in dog years, that's a long time. 48, that's a long time. And for you to say I'm 48, I ain't never met a good man, like not even on accident, not even what? That's crazy. But that's because you spent your 20s and your 30s not looking for a good man. That's why you couldn't find one. You was out here throwing it in the club. You was young and cute. And then now you 48 and I don't know what to tell you. And these are conversations, that honestly aren't being had in our community. Well, I take that back. There are other women like me who have these conversations. We the enemy. We the
Right.
pick me's. We
Right.
the mammies. But you know what we also are though? We married. And y'all not. And that's not to like throw that in y'all face and make y'all feel like y'all ain't nothing. It's to say that what we have, y'all gonna eventually want, but it's gonna be too late for you to get it at the way you in the capacity that you want it. We wasn't playing, and to try to denounce us and make us look bad and throw names at us like we the bad guy because we did what you couldn't do. We knew that we was beautiful. I ain't no slouch, and I wasn't trying to run around here chasing nobody either. Like, listen, once I found who I was gonna be with, that was it. I didn't need nothing else. And I don't understand how come people feel like I gotta, balance my options, especially because we live in a generation where all women talk about how men ain't shit. So what you balancing? I'm not
Right.
understanding. If you get you a good man that proposes to you, lock him down. What you gonna throw him back for and hope you gonna get another one? That makes no sense. Listen, even a fisherman knows that don't make good sense. Ain't no fisherman ever threw back a 6-pound bass to see if he could get something else. That don't work like that. If you get something big, I'm putting this one. I might throw my line out to hope I get another one or a bigger, but I ain't throwing this big. I've got to sat out here all day. You out your mind. I'm not about to throw nothing back. So I don't understand why women think that makes good sense. I'm gonna throw all these good men back, and my karma gonna be good, and they gonna come. No, ma'am. It's slim pickings out here. You throwing back, somebody gonna come and alley oop and scoop them up, and then you gonna be looking crazy in the end zone by yourself.
Hey, hey, Miss Sabina, do you think like, all the things that these women are saying these days, do you even think a lot of these things were at one point in time these women's actual like original thoughts, or do you think a lot of them are being influenced by whoever it is that they're watching on the internet?
I think it's being misled, not by people on the internet. This is generational.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people, like I said, their grandmas and their mamas were single women that, probably settled down in their 80s, and they were like, oh, I got time like my mama. Okay. She didn't tell you the truth that at 80, it ain't all what you think it is. But, and I feel like a lot of it is really hurt. And I've said this on another live, women, I hate to hear women say the healing word. You got to heal. You got to get healing, because I hear a lot of people that use the healing word, they're not healing, they're dwelling. You haven't healed from your past. You haven't healed. I had to tell my husband this. True healing, you know what it does? It makes you laugh at the things you've been through. If you start talking about your ex and you get angry and you start sweating and your face turn red, sweetheart, you have not healed. But
Right.
if you can talk, like I can talk about my ex now, I'd be cracking up. We was talking about him earlier, and I was telling him like that. Boy, I don't even know what made me get with him. I wish I would have met you a long time ago, because it's a joke now. It's funny because I've healed. I moved on, and I don't care. But most women haven't healed. They're dwelling. If they see their ex in the street, they ain't gonna speak to him. Why should I speak to? Shoot, I speak to mine. Hi. I want you to see how I'm happy and loving life, and my skin is glowing, and I'm all oiled and moisturized, while you over here crusty dusty with whatever woman you picked out the trash. Now, I want you to like what? I'm healed. I've moved on. I don't care. I mean, there's no reason to be bitter or angry, but a lot of these women dwell. They're stuck in those relationships because they feel like Tyrone or Pookie or Lil Ray Ray was just gonna be the one, and when he wasn't, they just can't let it go. Let him go, because he done moved on. And it's funny. A lot of these guys women be held on to, they married. That's another
Right.
reason why they feelings hurt. Why wasn't I good enough to be married? But see, they get angry at that. There's nothing wrong with asking yourself the real question: what did I do wrong why I wasn't what he thought a wife should be? There's nothing wrong. And you don't need to ask other people that. Ask yourself that. If you was with a man and he left you and married someone else, what's wrong with me? And don't ask it like, woe is me, I'm so pitiful. Ask it from a legitimate standpoint. What do I need to work on to become wife material? What am I lacking? Do I dress like a woman that looks like she wants to be a wife, or am I half naked at the grocery store? That's a good question right there. You know,
Mhm.
if when am I spending all my time at the club instead of learning how to cook at home and take care of myself? That's a good question right there. Am I dating with true intentions, or am I just letting anybody take me home and slut me out? That's another good question right there. These are the questions you need to be asking yourself. And if you're not doing things that a man's gonna look at and say, yeah, that's a woman I want to have my babies, then that's why you don't have no man that settling down with you. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with a little self-reflection. I think that's the main answer to your question. There's no self-reflection. Everybody's looking for validation from somebody. They want their friends and their mamas and everybody to tell them, yeah, you doing a great job, you wonderful. But you need to be doing that self-reflection and really seeing, like, am I really doing a good job or am I fucking up?
But that's the thing, Miss Sabina. You can do self reflection, but are you, as a man or a woman, but we're talking about women right now, as a woman, are you going to take accountability and um, accept that were conducting yourself in a certain manner and displaying certain behaviors that weren't beneficial to whatever end goal that you were trying to achieve. And I think there's a lot that don't do the self-reflection, but I also think there's a lot that do the self-reflection but don't want to take any accountability for the part that they played in things going the way that it went.
Yeah, well, I said that earlier too. Though we live in a time frame where and that's across all nationalities. Women want to blame men at every standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Every standpoint. If a woman and a man, if a man cheats on a woman, then it's still a man's fault. Women never stop to think, like, could I have possibly remotely done anything? No, women don't never ask those questions. Now, I will say this: the only time they ask that question when a man cheats on them is they go, "Is it because she's prettier than me? Is it because she can do it better in the bed than me?" That's the only thing that women think about. They don't never stop to think, maybe it's the way she talks to him, or maybe it's the way she listens to him, or maybe, because in a lot of ways, sometimes when men cheat, they cheat emotionally first too. It's not always going straight to the bedroom, but
Right.
those questions aren't being asked. When divorces happen, it's always the man's fault. He was abusive. Nowadays, it seems like every man is abusive. I
Right.
ain't never seen this.
And a
That many
narcissist.
abusive. You mean everybody getting beat up?
And a narcissist too.
Yeah, and being a narcissist. Like, these are all the things that are women, and they're like, it's everywhere. It's not, but it's it's what you're perceiving, because at the end of the day, as long as you can blame someone else, then you can't stop to look at what you did. And there's nothing wrong. Listen, I've said this before on TikTok. I was terrible in my first relationship with my kid's father. A terrible person. Just wasn't wife material. But I grew up with, like I said, I'm fourth generation. The three generations from me, none of them could keep no man, and they all had that I'm a cuss and yell, and this man ain't gonna tell me nothing mentality. And after I lost him, I had the most self reflection ever. And I was like, dang, I'm just like them and all of them alone. This is a recipe for disaster, abort mission. And I started doing the work. Not trying to be like y'all. I don't even talk to them no more, because all the advice they ever want to give is ghetto and full of hood rats. And I don't want none of that. You don't be in my business. Don't know nothing about it. I don't even want you to meet the man I'm with, because that negativity, I don't need that. But these are things that people aren't thinking about, you know and so, like I said, the blame is always on the man at any facet of way of life. And it's sad. I'm not gonna say men are perfect though. Now, men,
Right.
they be out here doing some crazy stuff themselves.
Right.
But you can't blame someone else for decisions you made. If you're with a man for 10 years and he never proposes, that's kind of your fault. Especially if you dated with intention and you said, I want to be married by this time in my life, and you let that time go past and you let him tell you, well, we not ready yet. If you know you ready, how he gonna tell you you not ready? Unless he's telling you from stuff he's seeing. Then that means you need to take some self-reflection and see. Now, if you take self-reflection and you see that he's crazy, then leave. But women will stay. They stay. They hope that they can change his mind. Why change somebody's mind that doesn't see your worth? And that's really what it boils down to. Women stay in relationship with men that don't see their worth, hoping to change his mind. Why? Why do you want someone who didn't value you to wake up one day and value you? Because 9 times out of 10, if they do wake up one day and value you, it's only to keep other people who deserve you from getting you.
Right.
So you're shortchanging yourself. You're not hurting nobody but yourself. In the back of his mind, he cackling. Like, yeah, I did it again. She could have
Right.
been with the dude next door. I know he really cared about her. but I got her, and I'm gonna keep messing her up because she gonna keep letting me, and that's what happens.
Oh, that's it, man. Miss Sabina, man, I'm sorry to hear. I'm sorry to hear about the. I'm sorry to hear that you had complications. When did you find this out?
A little while ago. That's one of the reasons why we took our TikTok break.
Uh huh.
He and I, focus on us, focus on family. Um, take time away, and because we was tired of people asking us what happened. It's kind of hard to keep like explaining it over and over again, but um, yeah, it wasn't in the right time. We honestly we had a lot of stuff going on at that time. We were
Mhm.
moving, bringing families. It just was a lot going on. Nothing bad, just a lot. Life happens, and so
Yeah.
we felt like it just wasn't the right time. But we gonna try it again.
Yeah, please. And I hope when you try it again, I hope everything goes according to plan. I would already personally, I would already. I don't know what he doing. I would have already. You would have already been in birth. You would have already been in birthing mode or whatever again. But hey, there's
No,
a time. There's a time for everything.
yeah, there's a time for everything, and so we have a lot of things going on business wise and things like that. So we just have to focus our energy, but we gonna get back at it very soon. Um, but yeah, thank you, and thank you
Yeah.
for letting me come on your platform. It has been a long time.
I know, but no, look, first of all, of course, you know, you're always welcome here. Look, Mr. Bina, I haven't been on here though. I haven't been on here in 3 months. I'm focusing on my YouTube these days. I have a steadily growing YouTube channel that I'm building, and they paying over there on YouTube. They really incentivize you to post on their platform. So
Oh well, we go viral, so let me come over
exactly.
there
No,
and help
no,
you.
that's the thing though. I probably when I get off when we get off of here, I'm gonna send you the link to the video. We've always went viral on here, and even
Hmm.
some of the things that you said tonight, if I want to just like clip it up and whatnot and post some of it on here, you already know what it's gonna do. But one of I posted one of our conversations on YouTube as well. Both
Hmm.
I have YouTube shorts of you, and I posted one of like our just the conversations that we had. That video got like thousands of views on there too. I'm like the people really be rocking with Miss Sabina.
Oh, and it's crazy. I ain't never seen that, and I stay on YouTube. My husband always be like, "What you doing? You on YouTube?" Well, I be
Yeah,
watching
I'm gonna
people get
send you.
arrested
I'm gonna
on
send you.
YouTube.
I'm gonna send you. I'm gonna send you the links of the YouTube stuff that I got on you when we get out of here. But I'm like, damn, the people really be rocking with Miss Sabina, yo. Like the people gravitate towards the truth, and people gravitate towards the real at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Whether it's a man saying it or it's a woman saying it.
Well, people, I feel like we do have people who want to hear the truth. It's not that people don't want to hear it. It's just that, you know, real truth, especially when it aligns with what you're going through or what you're doing, it hits you in a way that some people just aren't ready to deal with. So I feel like, if people are surrounded by enough of it, it might shake them up and get them, excuse me, out their own way. But a lot of people, it does. That's why I say it make you the enemy. You start speaking on people like, why? What makes you think I want to have babies and this? And in the back of their mind, they know they want some kids and they know they want a husband. They just be saying that to be confrontational. And we're not trying to hurt your feelings by saying like just make better decisions. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Just make better
But the
decisions.
person, but the person that doesn't know them and don't care about them at all, that man or woman can say whatever it is that they want to hear, and they love that person. They lift that person up. Like it's crazy. It's like
Hmm.
okay, this person is telling you whatever that they're telling you, but whatever they're telling you is not helping you get the results that you want in real life. So like, but I don't know, Miss Sabina. I'm not a woman at the end of the day. I'm never gonna be able to be one. So whatever delusion there is or whatever, I can't speak to it. It's crazy though.
Listen, I know, and I can speak to it, and I mean, I'm just trying to warn my daughter so she don't have to go through it. And I'm starting young. She 12 years old, and I be telling her, don't be a cray cray, don't be
No,
out here.
you need to warn your son too though, Miss Sabina, because like I'm in my mid 20s, but like I could only imagine like when your son and your daughter like 8 to 10 years from now, like with the way this like social media is going, and like people just get on the internet every day, Miss Sabina, and all of a sudden on social media there's something that they're not in real life, right? So they're a therapist, they're a psychologist, they're a Miss Sabina, I kid you not. I scrolled into this live recently. There is this black man, and you know how when you go into lives they have like some hosts be having like greeting messages, like I got that like on my main page. Miss Sabina, his stuff said relationships, 30-year relationship specialist. What does that even mean? 30-year relationship specialist. Like, what does that even mean?
That means I'm gonna keep you. If you single, I'm gonna keep you single. That's what that means.
Man, say he a 30-year relationship specialist. Like, what? Niggas get on here and they're gurus, they're experts. Like, what does that mean?
But you know what's funny though? Like this is the crazy thing though. You know, all the people that they actually listen to be the ones that get exposed. Because you remember the Derrick Jackson days. Everybody
Exactly.
loved him until they found out he was.
Exactly. It's crazy, Miss Sabina, but hey, it is what it is. It is what it is, man. People either gonna take accountability and do the things that they need to do in life to get the results that they want, or they not. But at the end of the day, it's not affecting you or your pockets, and it's not affecting Noble or Noble's pockets. So,
Yeah, you
hey,
know.
more,
I mean,
more power to them.
yeah. Well, thank you, Noble. You know, I gotta
Thank you,
get
Miss
off here.
Sabina.
I
I
gotta.
appreciate you. Much love. Hey, I'm when I get off of here, I'm gonna send you the YouTube links. All right.
All right. Thank you.
All
Y'all
right,
have a
bet.
good night.
You too.